Hello, everyone. Thank you and welcome to the pod, the real podcaster of Alistray. So this is episode number 1. So it's all very exciting, hence the books first. Cheers. And you will see on the sofa at Pod HQ, I am joined by Georgie Barker. That feels so weird saying your full name.
Georgina, that's my naughty name.
I don't think I've ever said Georgina.
No.
Georgie Barker. So I know who Georgie is, but for all of you that are listening and viewing, who is Georgie?
That's the question, isn't it? To be honest, probably a few weeks ago, I kind of had a realisation that I think there's like 3 or 4 of me, to be honest. Yeah, I think I've got an alter ego.
No, there can't be. Oh, God.
So, Georgie Barker, owner of the Energee Studio, all-round fun-loving gal.
Energee Studio. I'll show you this.
Yeah,
I don't know if I can do this in a good way, but I am actually wearing the merchandise at the minute.
Didn't get the memo.
So tell us, what does that mean? What is the owner of Energee Studio? Tell us a bit about Georgie.
So I do fitness, PT, group exercise, I'm a swimming teacher as well. That's not all I do. I'm a person, friend, family member. But yeah, I think going back to what I was saying about the alter ego, so the Energee Studio, the name Energee came from, obviously, some people call me G. You call me G, and Georgie, don't you? You call me a bit of both, actually.
I feel like, now correct me if I'm wrong,
Yeah.
I feel like I started G.
Do ya?
Do you?
Well, I don't know, because a few people have got claims on the G nickname.
See, I feel like I started G.
Okay.
Could be wrong. I like to think I did.
Let's go with that.
Back in the PT days, years ago, box jump era, box jump gate era, I feel like I just used to call you G, my G.
Yeah, it was my G because Shaggy used to call me my G.
So maybe it's a Shaggy thing.
Yeah.
Maybe I picked it up from there.
Yeah.
But for today, it'll be between G and George.
Yes. So Energee, the Energee Studio, Energee came from people calling me G, so everyone always sort of said that you've got so much energy, so we went with Energee, with the play on the words. So yeah, I would say that G is fitness instructor, full of energy, PT, on that stage, getting everybody going, whereas Georgie, I think, is a softer version of me.
Is there a softer version?
Say, would you believe? A quieter version. So I'm sure like Adam and Mum and Dad would probably say like it's George, like quieter, bit more chilled at home, but so
Cat Mum,
Mr. Jibs, that's it. So
excellent. So you are the owner, founder, established Energee Fitness, and all of the little offshoots that we'll find out more about in a minute. Where did it all start?
So I started teaching swimming when I was about 14. So I used to swim for Derby Phoenix, which everybody out there swam for somebody. But yeah, I got and really enjoyed swimming. Was always into netball, hockey at school, always active, fit, into movement. So as soon as I started teaching swimming at 14, I just kind of had this knack for telling people what to do.
Sergeant Major.
So yeah, I just had this way of it came quite natural to me to I was a bit bossy as a kid, so I just started telling people what to do, and so I taught swimming from a young age. Went and did my level 1, level 2 at 16 and 18, and then from there I actually moved to Tenerife for 18 months. When I turned about 19, 20, moved over to Tenerife, just did a 2 seasons out there. And it was when I started teaching aquafit around the pool in Tenerife that I just thought, I quite like this.
So those lessons that people, when the people come around and it's like, come and join in, and you pretend you're like asleep or reading a book or whatever.
Darts? Yeah,
you were getting people up.
That's me for a period of time.
Wow. And that kind of struck a light in terms of, actually, I like teaching.
Yeah, like the energy, the vibe, like getting people going and seeing people having fun because of what I was sort of telling them to do, and getting people to just not care and just do whatever. Like I just loved that. So did that in Tenerife, and then not long after I came back, I started teaching spin at Alice Tree Woodlands, where it all started for me.
Oh.
So yeah, lifeguard, swimming teacher, spin instructor, all at Alice Tree. So then they put me through my level 2 fitness instructor.
Right.
And it all just kind of spiraled from there. So I started teaching at another local fitness centre and doing PT and classes there. And yeah, that was it.
So what sort of age was that then?
So I got back from Tenerife when I was 22, just turning 22. So it was pretty much straight away that I went and got my level 2, got my spin, started teaching spin, and then I did my level 3 in so level 3 PT normally takes a couple of months to complete, but me being me, I got it done in about 8 weeks.
That does not surprise me.
I know.
That doesn't surprise me.
Not 8 weeks, sorry. I think it was like a couple of weeks. Like
Yeah.
I just went for it. So it
Yeah.
normally takes 8 weeks to complete it, and I just went straight in. So,
wow.
So yeah.
So it sounds like fitness has always actually been part of your life, part of who you are.
Yeah. So Dad, I've grown up with rugby as well. Dad played rugby for Derby, so we've always been down at the rugby club. So when Dad's been playing rugby, we've been running around on the other pitch and stuff like that. So yeah, and then netball, hockey at school, swimming. So yeah, always been
been a big part of your life. Yeah. So how did that then go from being something you enjoy to then, okay, I think I might have something here?
So anything that I want to do, so like going to the gym is like a hard thing for people to commit to doing.
Hell yeah.
And
hell to the yeah.
I've learned growing up that if I want to do anything consistently, I have to make it a job. So that kind of happened. So I started going to classes, and then I sort of thought, this is actually quite like a commitment to go to classes all the time. So I thought, what if I was to just teach it? Then I've got to go. So that's
you kind of, yeah, I suppose you have really.
Yeah, there's a theme throughout my life as well. Like anything that I want to do, I'd make a job out of it, which is good. But then in other aspects, if I actually genuinely enjoy something and I make a job out of it, then you can sometimes lose the enjoyment of it. So I have been quite careful with some bits where I'm like, right, I'm not going to make that my job.
Yeah.
But so I wanted to go more consistently, and so just decided if I got paid, I might go.
My mind is whirring. I'm trying to think of all the things that I enjoy that I could make a job out of.
We ain't got time.
Drinking, eating. Oh, fantastic. So that started to become your main focus in terms of work then. So how did you then take the leap to start your own business, self-employed, you're going for it?
So I've always been self-employed with swimming. So I already had that it was already there that I was sort of doing my own thing. But it was after lockdown. So I got made redundant after lockdown at the fitness studio that I was at previously. So I just knew, I knew what I wanted to do, and I found I think this is what I want to be when I grow up, sort of thing. So I just thought, when that happened, I was like, I can't imagine going and getting an office job, or no offense to office jobs, but I just couldn't imagine myself doing that.
Yeah.
So I just knew that I'd found something that I enjoyed and that I loved, and I didn't want to stop doing that. So that's when I thought, right, if I'm going to do it, I've got to do it on my own. Yeah. So I just went for it.
Wow. And was that hard? Was it scary? I mean, it sounds like you were just dead driven and you were just go, go, go. But was it a hard decision? Was there a lot of fear around it, or?
For me, no, because, and I think we'll figure this out as we go through some of the other questions. I just give it a go. There were obviously fears and worries that oh my God, what if it doesn't work and I can't actually pay myself? And what if, and that's the fear for every small business. What if we can't pay our bills at the end of the month? But it was just, I knew that I wanted to do it. And because I loved it so much, I was going to make it work. So that it wasn't an option. I was just going to give it a go. If it didn't work, then, would have done something else.
Yeah, plan B.
Yeah,
do something else that you love.
There you go.
Oh, that's amazing. So where does this spirit come from then? Where does this sort of entrepreneurial, I can't believe I said that first time, entrepreneurial sort of drive, different businesses, getting your fingers in different pies, where does that all come from?
I think, again, going back to, I think if you don't try, you're never going to know. And I've been through that phase of being almost like put in a box and like, you're going to do this and that's what you're going to do. And it just never sat well with me. And like even when I was in Tenerife, like my boss at the time, like I came up with all these ideas and I was like, what about this? And why don't we do that? And it was always like, oh no, like this is what we do. And so it's always been there that I've just had like I'm just a bit bossy, just a bit like out there. So I've just had it. Yeah, I don't know. I think just have a go, see what happens. Like, what's the worst that can happen? It doesn't work, and then you try something else. And I think to have that attitude, you just always just going to come up with stuff. And but I don't know really.
So you don't fit into a box, is what you're saying?
No, there's no big.
Nobody puts Gigi in the corner.
Gigi ain't going in no corner.
Just came up with that.
Love that.
So
Get that on a t-shirt.
We've got Energee Studios.
Yes.
Energee Cocoon.
No, so Energee Cocoon was when we first started.
Yeah.
So I've been Energee Derby.
Yep.
Originally, and that's when we was at the church halls and at Woodlands again. Woodlands School just was consistent throughout my sort of starting career. So the Energee Derby was at Woodlands, St Nick's, the local church hall, stuff like that. And then an opportunity came up for me to have my own space. And I never wanted my own space, ever. It was never on the radar, never wanted to do it, did not want that commitment, wasn't bothered, like just wanted to keep pottering around in my church halls, fine. And side stage enter side stage? I say those words in the wrong order.
Enter
side stage.
Here came.
Yes. Steph. So Steph, very good friend of mine. Like I look up to Steph quite a lot actually. So and hopefully she's gonna watch and tune in.
And appear.
There you
space.
go. Said it now. So always looked up to Steph. She's got that sort of like can-do attitude of like, well, let's just try it and see. And I think I do get a little bit of, we just aligned our energies, pardon the pun, just aligned.
Love that.
And she sort of came in, I was teaching yoga and she was teaching at the same studio as me. And we just got on really, really well. And this space just came available and I was going down for a business meeting at this space for this opportunity, and I thought I should take Steph with me, like road trip. So she came down with me, and there was alongside this sort of investment that we were looking at, this small like studio sized space was there, and the landlord was kind of like, I don't really know what I'm going to do with this spot. And Steph just said outright, she's like, we'll have it. I was like, huh? Like, no.
Oh, wow.
I don't want a space. Like, I don't want a studio. She's like, I'll do it with you. We'll do it together.
Yeah.
So that's when the Energee Cocoon was born.
Right.
So Steph is Cocoon Health and Wellbeing.
Yep.
So she's sort of therapist, yoga instructor, counsellor. She's amazing. And then obviously had Energee. So the Energee Cocoon was born.
Yeah.
And so we sort of set that up, me and Steph together, went in together, gave it a really good shot. And about 5-6 months in, it just wasn't working out because Steph had so much other stuff. And again, you'll hopefully catch up with her and find out.
She's got a lot going on in her other businesses.
Other stuff going on. And she just sort of said, look, it's always been you. It's always been Energee. So go. So that's when we sort of changed the name to Energee Studio, and that's where we are now. So
where can we find you? I know, but tell our viewers, where can we find Energee Studio?
We're in Little Eaton, directly opposite the New Inn pub. Very convenient for post-class drinks.
Handy.
So we're just on the industrial unit with the first unit on the right, and you'll see the big orange sign. So so
not too dissimilar to this. You can't see it now. So we've got Energee Studios. We've got Zenergy.
Yes.
Tell us a bit about that.
Zenergy. Okay, so this is quite a funny story actually, and this again will give you another insight into me. I do retreats through Energee, so we do the re-energizer retreats. So I try and do 2 a year, local to the area, Peak District sort of way, and it's just a long weekend where we go away and we do yoga, we do fitness, cheese and wine, all the wellness stuff. And there was this one particular weekend that we'd booked the retreat up in Buxton. And they'd given gale force winds and torrential rain. And obviously
not uncommon for Buxton.
Well, but up in Buxton, it's like a little microclimate, isn't it? So it was unbelievably windy that weekend.
God.
And at this particular venue, there was no like communal area for us to meet to do the sessions.
Yeah.
So we were supposed to be doing like yoga and sort of boot camp things, and there was nowhere indoors for us to go. So I had this bright idea the day before the retreat to buy a bell tent. So I ordered this bell tent, didn't arrive. So I had to order another one. So then I ended up with 2 bell tents.
Of course you did.
Obviously. So then I took one up, sent the other one back. Obviously, that was a very good business decision. Send that back, keep one. Took it up to the retreat. Worked well, except for Saturday night. We didn't talk about Saturday night on that retreat. The wind got so bad. Me and my mum, every hour, went back out to pin the tent back down because it was
God.
It was, yeah. Anyway, so after that, obviously I couldn't send the tent back, so I'd used it. Tried to sell it on Facebook Marketplace and all that stuff. No one was biting. So I just thought, you know what, I'm just going to keep it and just make it into another business. So that's when Energee was born.
Wow.
So Energee is bell tent hire.
Yeah.
Half-day retreats.
Yeah.
So we take the bell tent out. I did it at the Kedliston Country Club last year in the summer. So we did like a yoga session in the bell tent, which is just beautiful. And then we went into the Kedliston and had breakfast.
Oh, wow. That sounds amazing.
So Energee is bell tent hire and half-day retreats. And then I also do treatments, massage treatments as well. So that's sort of like on the side of the bell tent thing. So I do deep tissue, Indian head and hot stones.
That's incredible. So literally so many hats.
Yeah.
A woman of many talents.
Well, she tries.
How do you do it all?
Prosecco?
Do you need a top up?
No, okay.
Thought that was it.
No. Prosecco? Just passion. I just love it. Like it isn't, and I know it sounds really cliche, but like if you find something you love, you never work a day in your life. And I completely live by that. Like I love every single thing that I do. Like I literally just come from a massage client, and that's why I'm a bit calmer than I don't know, am I calmer? I just enjoy it. Like I find the massage really relaxing and therapeutic for myself, and teaching the classes. Like I love the vibe. I love the girls that come in, and so I think I do it because I do it all because I love it. Yeah, it isn't a job. It isn't a chore. I absolutely love what I do. So
it is literally your passion.
Yeah.
So that makes it sort of manageable, achievable. Yeah.
100%.
Oh, that's nice. That's really nice. So along those same lines then, what would you say your favourite and maybe not so favourite part of all of your jobs are?
Yeah. Favourite, let's go with the good one first. Favourite is the community that I've created. Like the girls, I mean, last year I'm sure you came to them with me. We went to like 2 weddings of like girls that have been coming to classes that like a year and a half ago were strangers.
I was actually only invited to one, so we'll
Lindsay.
Oh yeah,
Lindsay and Annie.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. Honestly.
I can get out of that by saying, well, Lindsay was actually
friend previously. Yeah. But so like when I think of things like that, I'm like, oh my God, like these girls came to get fit for their wedding and to feel good, and then I've ended up being
now you're at the wedding.
Like, oh my God,
yeah, which is amazing.
So, and like obviously the various WhatsApp groups that we've got going on, like Energy Crew, and like there's social events, but it isn't like through like, you know, some like gyms do like let members meet up, so everyone's like, like we're friends, and like a lot of people, but I think it's really important as well that we're friends, but there's no cliques, there's no like vibes or anything. Everyone that comes to class, they are just so nice and so friendly, and it is such a welcoming, safe space to be. And I think my favourite part is that safe space that I've created, because it's therapy for me as well to come in and like to speak to you all and like seeing people like actually progressing and doing well. And
I really agree with that actually. And it's just dawned on me that, you know, when you said about that click, which can sometimes happen, let's face it, in communities where people, you know, women get together, sometimes that you can have that, but there isn't. There actually isn't at all.
And I'm so
we're all in that room together, aren't we?
Yeah.
When we're there, which is amazing. And that must be, you know, well, there'll be a lot of reasons why that has worked how it has, but you know, you're bringing that passion and you're ensuring that it is for everyone. This is a space for everyone.
So circuits last week on the Tuesday, that when it was Bex's birthday, you came, didn't you? And everyone was cheering each other on, and like there was one lady in there that it was her first class, she didn't know anybody, And I went over to her at the end. I was like, "How was that?" She went, "Oh my God, everybody's so nice."
Oh, that's
and I was
nice.
like, "Yes, like, this is what I want." Like I'd be so mortified if somebody like had a bad experience or anything. And I think because I'm so passionate about it, and because I'm so proud of it, and I'm so like,
it's you.
Yeah,
it's everything.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. So that is your favourite bit, building that community, bringing people together, giving people a central point, a purpose, like all of those amazing things.
Yeah.
Is there a least favourite?
I mean, I think if you were to ask any small business owner, I think they would probably say like the business side of stuff. So like I cry when it's tax return time. Like I don't know what to do.
Isn't that today?
I mean, I've got an accountant. I just pay her.
Yeah.
The other day, Adam said like, "What's the unique reference number?" I was like, "I don't even know what that is."
What is a URN?
I don't know. I know you said UTI. That's not right, is it? That's why I said, you know that number. But yeah, no. So I think the business side of things is difficult.
Yeah.
One thing that I find hard is social media. As much as like a lot of people will say like, "But you're so good at it, like your marketing says," I hate social media. I think, and that's probably a podcast for another day, but I find it a very negative place to be. I think it's so easy to look at what everybody else is doing and compare and think like, "Oh, should I be doing that? Should I be doing this?" When in reality, I should be doing exactly what I think I should be doing and not comparing to anybody else. And, you know, comparison is the theft of joy, isn't it?
So and we do, don't we? We compare ourselves to other people, and it ends up, well, it's like compare and despair. It doesn't bring anything good by comparing. So the business side of it, the social media, even though it's so important to have that social media presence, that's one of the less enjoyable sides of running your business.
And I guess that like sort of takes us into another side as well, like boundaries. So like creating those boundaries. So like I've got an automated response on my phone that comes on after like 8 p.m. Yet I still feel I have to reply to those messages. So I do sometimes find that quite hard, like, because it is just me, like it's just me doing marketing, doing, you know, everything. It's just me, I'm on my own. So if somebody messages me, I feel like I have to respond to that message immediately when actually just to do it in the morning is going to be okay. So it's like that social media and the boundaries of that, I think I struggle with, but I'm working on. So
because our phones are never far away from us. We're so accessible, aren't we?
Yeah.
So I can imagine that's quite difficult, putting those boundaries in place.
Yeah, definitely.
In the fitness industry, then, there is a lot going on.
Yep.
Lots of gyms, lots of PTs, lots of group fitness classes. Would you say there's room for more, or would you say this industry is saturated?
I think there's always room for more, because I strongly believe that there's enough people to go around for everybody.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of people in Derby alone. I mean, everybody knows everybody, don't they? But I think there's so many people out there, and it's about finding your tribe, isn't it? And about finding your people. So like, you could go to a group exercise class and it might not quite be for you, so you might try something else. And I think it's good to have that variety out there. And I think it's important for everybody just to know that it is okay, and there's enough people for everybody to do okay. So it
doesn't need to be competitive.
No.
There is a room if people are thinking about starting something, if people are thinking about getting into that industry, getting into that business, there is room. There's plenty of people to go around. Yeah.
And I think it's just important. Like, I think it's important to note that like it's not easy to go get your qualifications, but anybody could really go and get qualified as a PT or a fitness instructor or a yoga instructor or whatever. But you've got to have something that is a little bit different, a little bit niche. You've got to have the personality, because people are going to come to your class for you.
Yeah.
And so I think it's important that you have something a little bit different, because, like, you know, I'm 100% positive that some people have been to my class and gone like, "Oh my God, she's too much." Like if I'm too much, go find less, by the way. But you know what I'm saying. But like, she's a bit loud, like, "Oh, she's not for me."
Yeah.
That's fine. Like, that's absolutely fine.
Yeah, because that's life, isn't it? Not everyone is for everyone, and you can't be everyone's cup of tea, whether that's personally or in business.
Someone's glass of prosecco.
Oh,
you know.
Cheers to that.
Cheers to that. But no, I definitely don't think it's saturated. I just think there's room for everyone, and everyone should get a good go
Yeah.
if they want it.
If that's your passion,
Yeah,
go for it.
go
There's
do it.
space in the market.
100%. And if there isn't, make space.
Yeah.
Cheers to
Disrupt
that.
it. Disrupt it. So we've learned that you've got a lot going on.
A little bit.
There's lots of fingers in pies within the Energee Studios brand, within the Energee brand. How do you cope with all of that personally? What do you do to cope and manage with all of that?
I mean, like I said, I do delegate. So obviously I've got an accountant. So like the amount of times that I message poor Jen, I'm like, Jen, I've had a text from my landlord. I don't know what to do. She's like, it's not really my department. And then when it comes to tax return, I've cried on the phone to her before. But I think it's important to, like, things that you're not good at or could be better at, just delegate and just give, ask for help. I think that's important. Mum and dad are obviously a huge part of Energee.
Yeah.
The maintenance man, Pete, he comes down and helps with the bikes and everything.
Pete and Jude.
Yeah, mum's there and they're absolutely amazing. But I think just doing a little bit of something for yourself as well is important. So like I do try and take part in one class a week for myself. So I'll do some yoga classes online, or I go to a place up in Repton where I go for a swim once a week, and that's just for me. So I think, as well as, yes, everything's crazy and everything's busy, but it's finding space and time for yourself.
Yeah, prioritising yourself.
Yeah, really important.
Looking after your self-care, because you are sort of looking after everyone else's self-care, the community, looking after their sort of fitness and well-being.
Yeah.
It's important to look after yourself.
Yeah, I always try on a Friday. I always try and finish at lunchtime. So that's what we're doing tonight, isn't it? So drink. But yeah, I always try, like, Friday night is my night. Like, I finish at lunchtime. I do not teach on a Friday night. And I'm, like, really protective of that time because that's for me.
Yeah.
So yeah, but again, it's boundaries, isn't it?
Yeah, you need that though, don't you? You need that space.
Yeah.
Because then Saturday morning, you do it all over again.
Yeah, back to class. So, yeah.
So thinking about either in terms of Energee or business or personally, what would you say is your greatest achievement so far?
To be honest, when I saw your list of questions, I was like, oh my God, I don't know about that.
What list of questions?
What list of questions?
This is all ad hoc. This is speak as you go, people.
Sorry. The prompts.
Yeah.
We've got an auto cue at that. I mean, I feel like I should say the studio.
Yeah.
And I am very proud of the studio, but I never wanted it. So in a way, it doesn't feel right to say that. So I've already touched on the community that I've created and the space that I've created. So I probably would say that's a huge achievement.
Yeah.
But for want of, like, not like maybe a better phrase or anything, myself. And I know that sounds like really like, what? Like, you're your biggest achievement. Like, I am so proud of the way that I deal with things sometimes. And like, I've done a lot of work on myself, as you know, you've known me for bloody years now. There's been a lot of stuff that's gone on. And I feel like every single little thing I've just grown and learned more about myself. And like, I know myself inside out, and I know when I need to take a rest. I know when I need to stop talking. I know when I need to give a little bit more, and I know when I need to take a break. So I think, and like, this is just all coming out now. I haven't actually planned to say this, but yeah, I think my greatest achievement so far is me. Yeah, and I know that sounds like,
no, why not though?
Yeah,
you've got to back yourself, haven't you?
I think so.
If we're talking about sort of self-care and looking after yourself, and that starts with you as well, like loving who you are, loving who you've become, loving your journey. Like, why not own that? If you are your biggest achievement, then hell yeah, why not?
Hell yeah. I think as well, like, a couple of clients, like, I mean, you're like a day dot client, really, aren't you? There's a few girls that have been with me since day one, like that first spin class that I ever taught at Woodlands. Like, there's some of them, and now, like, I actually had one lady, I hadn't seen her for probably a year or so. And she came back, she came to the studio and she did one of spin classes, and she was like first ever spin class girl at Woodlands. And she was just like, oh my God, like, you are just radiating like energy and confidence. And I was like, yeah,
you are made
I am,
for this.
but I've it's not been easy to get to this stage. Like, I was put in a box and put in a corner and like, no, you're going to teach like this, no, you're going to do that. Whereas now I'm like, no, I'm going to do what I want to do. And
you've had to overcome those hurdles and go through those times for you to come out of who you are. But that's all part of the journey, and that's all where your learning and your growth comes from. Because if you don't go through those times, then it kind of can stunt your learning and your growth.
I think I'll have to say that.
So if one of our viewers or listeners was thinking about entering into the journey of fitness, starting from scratch, and they just wanted to make like one small change to start with, that would have maybe a good impact on their life, what can someone start to do that would help?
Walk. Just steps.
Right.
Go out for a walk a day. Like even like on your lunch break, go for a walk. If you've got a meeting that could be taken on the phone, go for a walk. Like I just think not only like physically moving more, getting your steps in, mentally, it's just getting yourself out there. And if you can go outside and do it, like nature's just so amazing, isn't it? To clear your head. So like I think if you can just walk more, and that's it, if that's all you can manage, that's going to make such a huge difference, such a massive difference.
Brilliant. So just moving a bit more. Start with walking, and see where it leads. Yeah, and it might lead to Little Eaton, the Energee Studios,
hopefully.
So, for you, what does leading a healthy lifestyle mean for you? What does that look like for you?
Balance. Right. So for me, obviously I teach a lot of classes, so I do a lot of exercise. I eat well because it's just what I do, like it's habit. But for me, it is all about the balance. So as well as eating well and doing exercise, I like a drink. I like my takeaways. I like nice treat food, you know, and I just think as well as you can't just be on it all the time. So I think you've got to have that nice little mix of balance, like a sofa day. That's okay. Like it's not going to push you back. It's not going to ruin your progress. And I think as well, if you can come up with something that's like a lifestyle that is sustainable for you, you're more likely to sort of see results because you're doing it. Yeah. For something you can do long term rather than, you know, like I'm going to eat 2 meals a day and drink loads of water. That's not sustainable. So I just think balance is really important. If you restrict yourself, you're going to want it more. So
manageable lifestyle changes, and that's been important to you. Are goals important? Setting goals.
I think definitely if you can have a goal, then obviously you know what you're working towards. But then it's not just having the goal, it's how you're going to get there. So it's creating those like little bite-sized chunks and those little steps and those little mini goals on how to get to the big goal. So if you came up with like a massive goal, I want to go up Mount Everest, like that's okay, amazing, great goal, let's do it. You can do whatever you want to do, but how are we going to get there? Like what are you going to do before you just climb the mountain? Like you're going to do practice runs and you're going to work on your endurance and you see what I mean? So like you can't just do it. You've got to build up little bits. So
if there's big goals, you need to break them down into smaller chunks. That makes sense.
Definitely.
So what's next for Energee?
I don't even know. Just keep going. Just keep doing what I'm doing. And I mean, I don't even know when I come up with these crazy ideas, I don't know that they're happening until they're happening. So I don't really plan much, to be honest. It just happens. So like I said about the studio, it was never a plan to have the studio. So I remember actually I had a life coach meeting with Jo Hinchley. Hopefully, again, you'll get her
coming on the pod.
She's on the pod.
She's on the list.
She's on the list. So I had a life coach meeting with Jo about maybe 2 years ago. So before I had the studio, and she did the sort of standard question of like, where do you see yourself in 5 years' time? And she asked me the question, do you see yourself having a premises? And I was like, no, it's not on my radar. Well, here I am, like a year in, and I've got a studio. So I think what's coming for Energee, I don't know, is the honest answer. Like I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing and hope that it still works and people still come.
And I suppose just seizing opportunities if they do come knocking on your door like the studio did, and you think, do you know what, that's interesting, that's something that I'd like to do. Maybe. See, that's definitely a thing. But I think also with opportunities knocking, maybe as for me, just assess a little bit before jumping in, because I do just go in feet first, like, wow, let's do it. This sounds amazing. So like I say, I have learned a lot, especially over the last year, that maybe just
focus on energy. It's got to be about energy. It's got to be about me and what I want to do and what is right for the brand. But yeah, just keep it energy, and keep you versus you is the motto.
Yeah,
so
cheers to that.
Cheers to that. Just keep doing what we're doing.
Yeah, because it's working.
Yeah, and it's all led by the girls that come. It's all led by you girls and what you want and what you enjoy. So anything like that, if there's anything out there that you want to do, I mean, don't say like bungees, because I've already tried that and I can't get the RSJ. We're not allowed it.
Oh my God.
It's not possible.
No.
So. But yeah, if there's anything that anybody wants to do, like, hit me up. And
we've done space hoppers.
We've done
We've done workout with drumsticks.
Yeah, silent disco.
You are also learning to stilt.
Yes.
What do you call it? Learning to stilt walk.
Yeah, stilt walk. So yeah, that's funny, isn't it?
Wow.
So my brother's girlfriend, DJ Bojack,
love
get
DJ
her on the pod.
Bojack. Yeah.
She's brilliant. She's my sister. She's not my brother's girlfriend. She's my sister. Absolute legend. So basically, and this is just another thing that I do. So sometimes she requires dancers to get them going in the clubs. That would be me. So she dresses me up. We go down to the to the clubs in
to the club.
Get out to the club. I mean, I have to go by midnight because I have to be tucked up. I can't do past midnight. She knows that. But,
I can go to the club, but between 11:30 and I've got to be out.
I have to be home. I will turn into a pumpkin after midnight. So I do some dancing for Bo, and she just I said to her, I really want to be a stilt walker. So for my 30th, she got me a pair of stilts.
This is amazing.
So, yeah, and I am also trying to learn saxophone as well. So stilt walking saxophone player. That's what we're.
So is this so you can play the sax when your sister's doing the DJing? A bit like at Annie's wedding?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
But it's really hard. Yeah. I can't read.
You've got enough wind. You've got enough hot air.
She can shout. But no, it's reading the music. I just make it up as I go along. So I need to be put in a corner. I need to be put in
practice.
Yeah, that's it.
So we have come to the part in the pod where we discuss the good, the bad and the ugly.
Okay.
So every guest that we have on the pod, I'm going to be asking them about the good, the bad and the ugly. Has there anything that's happened this week or lately that has been considered as the good, the bad or the ugly? So G, what is your good, bad or ugly?
For this week? That's happened this week?
Well,
or just whenever?
Whenever. Can be this week, can be whenever.
Well, I think, to be fair, I have got one that meets them all, I think, which I kind of touched on. I'm just going to go all in.
You're not talking about Adam, are you?
No.
No, Adam's good.
Yeah,
Adam's a good boy.
He's the good one. So I sort of touched on it a little bit briefly earlier. So 2024 was really tough business year. So I went all in with an investment business idea, went all in on it, which was great, really amazing, really exciting. And then it just didn't work out. It just went a little bit bad, a little bit ugly. But as a result of that, I have learnt so much about, again, myself, about business, about the types of people that I can work with. So like I said about me and Steph, like our energies, they just aligned and we just clicked and we worked so well together. Whereas now I'm learning that that's not going to happen with everybody. Whereas I always just think that it will. And I'm quite, I don't want to say naive, but I think I'm a very trusting person and I wear my heart on my sleeve and I really will just give everything to anybody. And I have learned in 2024, maybe not to just go straight in and just think and just take a step back. So not really a sort of a fun one, but I would probably say that ticks all of those boxes.
Yeah. And I think that just goes to show that, we can dive into opportunities, both feet. We can get really passionate about things that these are a really great idea. This is where I want to go. And stuff changes, right? Stuff just happens.
Yeah.
Things don't work out. That is life. That's normal. Yeah. But learning, again, going back to that learning, growing, evolving, you now have sort of said to yourself, okay, probably I need to assess things a little bit more, maybe sleep on them a little bit more before I go straight in. Because if you are that sort of passionate person that does like lead with a heart and excited and want to go in, with both feet, that I guess could sometimes, not work out for you.
Yeah.
But it's all learning,
Yeah.
isn't it? Life
And
is learning.
That's it. And the good thing out of the bad and the ugly is that, like I say, I know myself inside out even more now, and I've learned, and I know, and Energee is now thriving off the back of this, because I am now like, right, this is all about energy. It has to be. Like, I'm never going to go down another little. It's all about energy.
Yeah.
It's enough.
Yeah.
And I think as well, like, just knowing that what I have created and what I am doing, it is enough, and I am enough. And I think knowing that, that was deep, wasn't it? I think just
like
those little bits of like, I don't need to be doing anything else. And I know I'm already doing enough, but I don't need to do anything else to be anybody else.
Or prove anything.
Yeah, that's it. And I think like society was sort of telling me that I needed to have more and do more and be more. Whereas now I've learned that no, I am more than happy and more than comfortable, and I'm loving what I'm doing, and that's enough.
Yeah. But actually, as much as growth in business is really important for some people, there is so much for nurturing what you've got, your core bit of business, nurturing that and give it that sort of main focus energy as such. Excuse the pun.
Excuse the pun. Love it.
Brilliant. So now I think we're going to have to just top up the second for this bit, because now we are on to the flip and the reverse.
The flip and the reverse.
So this is the part where the guest, so today, obviously G, then gets to reverse the tables and ask me anything. And again, nothing has been prepared, so I've got no idea.
I think you're going to be like,
slightly scared, hence the top up. But yeah, flip and reverse me. I could do with like a little jingle for that.
Yeah.
Flip.
Yeah. I think
I don't know what that was.
Thing.
Flip and reverse.
There's a song, isn't there, that goes, ricka, 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 and it's like, ricka, ricka, flip it and reverse it.
Is it Missy Elliott?
Yeah.
Let me work it.
Something
about flip and reverse it.
There you go.
Dang, 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 dang. So
right.
we'll work on that. So flip and reverse me then. Ask me anything.
Okay, so anything is available, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because my question to you is, what is your zombie apocalypse plan? Because I've got one.
I don't know what that means.
So, in the event of a zombie apocalypse,
which is what, so where zombies take
over the world,
right?
So, you're walking down to the co-op, and zombies. There's a red weather warning.
Dead invested
zombies.
In this.
Yeah. What's your plan? What's your plan? Where are you going to go? What are you going to do?
Do you know what my plan is? If you can't beat them, join them.
You're just going to get bit.
I'll just
bite me.
I'll just take. Yeah, I'll just. There's nothing I can do. I'll just. If you can't beat them, join them. I'll just.
Oh my god, I love
I'll
that
be a zombie.
So much.
I mean, I feel like a zombie most of the time anyway. So what's new? What is yours?
Well, I've actually got two. So one would be just to like go out into the countryside with a tent and supplies and just wait it out, like in the middle of nowhere, and just wait.
Okay.
And Adam's got like loads of tools and stuff because he's a builder. So just take the tools that I would be able to protect myself with and just go
sit
rogue.
It out.
Yeah. And then the other one is to go to Costco because they've got all like food and stuff and just hide at Costco.
Now this isn't related to zombies, but can I just tell you, Costco, I would love to work in Costco.
Really?
Yeah, it's one of my dream jobs.
Really?
I would love to be on the tills in Costco.
Are you for real?
Like putting stuff through the till and shouting every 5 minutes, soup, when they need something. I'd love it.
What do they shout?
Soup. I think it's short for supervisor.
Oh.
You know when they need like a coat or something, like a code or stamps or whatever you're buying, that they need something, they go soup. Of practice.
Yeah, I can tell.
I know.
What about, do you fancy Aldi on the checkout?
No.
No.
Costco or Costa. That's another dream job.
Okay. I mean, these are manageable dreams. I'm sure we can get you there.
These are achievable goals,
These are
people.
achievable.
They're achievable goals.
I'm sure we can get you there.
So, we are coming to the end of episode 1, which I hope you will agree has been fantastic. And thank you so much for being my guinea pig and coming on for the first episode. It's been fantastic.
It's been an honour.
And been lovely to get to know you a little bit more, which I didn't think was possible. So just before we finish, a bit of a shout out. So you'll remember I said when I did the introduction to the pod that every episode, I'll give a bit of a shout out to either something that's going on, whether that is an event, whether that's an opening, whether that's an existing business that's doing something. So this week's shout out is to a brand new business that's coming to Alistair Lane. Not a brand new business, but a brand new business that's coming to Alistair Lane, which is Pretty Me Beauty. They already have a salon in Mickleover, which is Pretty Me Beauty and Hair, but they are bringing to Alistair Lane Pretty Me Beauty, which is going to offer all things like nails, beauty, skin and aesthetics. They get the keys next week and the opening is on Wednesday the 5th of February. So check that out, halfway down Alistair Lane. You won't miss it, plenty of places to pull up and park. So that is coming soon. So that is my shout out for this week. So thank you so much for jumping on the pod. We really, really appreciate it, because if I haven't got anyone listening, there's no point in doing it. So thank you so much for jumping on, having a listen. I hope you've either taken a bit of time and got a brew and been sitting with us, or maybe you have been listening on the go, which is great. If you want to get in touch, it's Instagram, The Real Podcaster of Alistair, which is moi. And if you've got any shout outs, if you want to jump on the pod, anything interesting happening, anything fun happening, any events, charity stuff, please reach out, let us know, and I will give you a shout out, or maybe you can join me here at Pod HQ. So thank you so much, and thank you to the lovely
Cheers.
Gigi.